about the applied technology programs, share some really great videos, and then we're going to come back for some questions and answers. But I want to let you know it's really important to go ahead and ask your questions anytime they come up. Use that Q&A section at the bottom of your Zoom feed, and that will definitely be able to answer you as we go live. We got several folks here from the admissions department, and so we can go ahead and get your questions answered as we go. So let's go ahead and get started. Want to share with you a little facts about Parkland College. First of all, we are Community College District 505. And the great thing about community colleges is that we really have small class sizes for our students. So it's class sizes of 1 to 18, maybe even smaller than that, just depending on what we've got going on. And so that's super important to be aware of. This is where you're going to get to know your instructors, you're going to know your classmates. It's a great learning environment. We have tons of classrooms, specialized labs. You're going to see a lot of that lab space today when Amy shares that video. Obviously Wi-Fi throughout the campus, radio stations, TV stations, a theater, a recording studio. Kind of cool. We've got a recording studio which actually has our own record label called Perimeter Roads Record. And the neat thing about that is we take an artist every semester and do their CDs and promote the CDs. So in case you have some like outside interests, there's other things to get involved here at Parkland. We've got a planetarium. If you've never sat back and looked at the night sky and learned about planets and so forth, you can do that. There are special public shows on Fridays and Saturday nights, usually when we're not in this COVID time. Art galleries and fitness centers, so you can actually work out while you're here. There's classes in it, basketball classes, things like that. Very, very neat opportunities to take advantage of those facilities. We have athletics. So if it's something you're interested, please be sure and go to our website and look at parkland.edu/athletics. We are known for really high level athletic programs. We often are ranked nationally. So definitely if it's something you're interested in, let us know. 40 different clubs and organizations, a greenhouse, a pathway to Illinois. So a lot of folks come to Parkland College because we're not too far down the road from University of Illinois. And so I bring that up today just so you know that's why a lot of folks come. A lot of the programs we're talking about today are more hands-on, so they're not really planned as a transfer to the U of I, but if anybody's out there and that was kind of their goal, you might want to check us out next week too. November 6th is going to be our talking about transfer majors and stuff like that. So definitely come back to us if that's something you're interested in. So then the next step is talking about kind of what it actually takes to start at Parkland College. And the first step is always to apply. You can do that on parkland.edu. You'll see apply now as one of the choices, or just that /apply. And it's important that you're applying as a degree seeking student. That way we kind of know what you're heading for. We can make sure we get you the right classes, all that kind of good stuff, okay? And then the next step is asking your high school to send us transcripts. And these are going to be, if you've already graduated, great, that's easy. Just call out to the high school and they'll send them over to us. If you haven't graduated yet, it's important to go ahead and send those partial transcripts so we can get you preliminarily accepted. So, and then we're going to need a final transcript when you actually do, but it's those two parts, applying and getting transcripts, and that's what gets you accepted to Parkland College. We accept everyone. That's the first step, is open admissions. We're going to accept you, and then we're going to go from there and see what kind of classes we can get for you. If you've been to college somewhere else, please get us those college transcripts if you can, so that you don't have to take classes over again. It'd be great if you already had your English 101 taken care of or whatever someplace else. That's great. Just send us those transcripts and we'll go from there. And oftentimes, if you've taken the ACT or SAT, that's important to get those scores because we can use those for placement testing. So that's important to keep in mind as well. Okay, so let me talk a little bit. So you've applied, you've got us transcripts, financial aid. I'm hoping everybody out there that is thinking of coming either for spring or for fall has done their financial aid already. That's really an important part of what we do. It's important that you go to the free application federal student aid, which is called the FAFSA. It's a government form. It's going to take an hour of your life. I just tell folks it's just like doing your taxes. Do it because you don't know what you might qualify for. Because when I talk about financial aid, I'm talking about a bunch of different things. I'm talking about Pell Grants, which is federal money that they can take care of your classes. I'm talking about MAP money, which is state money, does the same thing. This is money you don't have to pay back. They give it to you so you can go to college, okay? Then loans, obviously you could be offered loans, but you never have to accept those. But oftentimes the scholarships also want you to fill out your FAFSA. So that's really important. I've given you a link there for the scholarships. We're doing scholarships right now for spring. That time period is open for the spring classes. And then there will be another deadline for scholarships for the fall, probably sometime around March. So definitely check those out. There's all sorts of resources for that free money, and we really want you to be aware of it. So next step is the assessments. And here's the basic deal. We need to find out where you are in English, reading, and math before we can start putting you in classes. So everybody that comes through has to do some sort of assessments. Now that could be that you've already taken your ACT or SAT, and so we have those scores and they're high enough that we could use them for placement. That's awesome. Not required though. High school GPA, again, if it's above a 3.0, that can also maybe take you out of some of the assessments. Or obviously, if you've done college work elsewhere, we might be able to use those. But it's okay if you don't have any of those, not a problem at all. We're gonna have you take placement tests. And right now, all those placement tests are being done online. And so it's important to take them seriously, because if you score above 100 on in the 100 level course levels, that's college level. And so that's awesome. But if you score below that, it's considered developmental. Now, some of your programs, it may not be an issue in, but some of it is. So I always bring this up so people are aware of it. This is not kind of those things, you don't take the assessment once and it's over. You can retake the assessment. Right now, there's no charge on retaking a test. So we encourage folks, take it seriously, do well on it. You're not happy with it, you can retake it, and definitely keep having these conversations with your advisors to kind of see what's going to work out best for you. And I've given you there the link for the assessment, folks, that they can tell you more about it. Next off, also just in the same vein of the assessments, if in high school you ever had an IEP or you were getting extended time for testing or anything like that, it's very important to make us aware of that. And we need to be aware of that before you even take our placement test, so that we can give you accommodations for the placement testing itself. So we give accommodations for that. There could be accommodations later on when you're actually taking the classes. I encourage everybody. I know a lot of folks will say, well, gee, I'm not really using the services very much in high school. Maybe I won't really need them in college. And that's fine. You're never required to use them, but it's definitely something, if you think you might need it, just put everything in place. You don't have to use it once it's there. But I really want to make sure folks are aware of the opportunities to do that. Tuition, I really want to talk a little bit about the tuition rate, because this is kind of a big deal, especially for folks that are coming from outside of the area. If you notice, all this area here in green is, this is the in district. So this is charged at $171 per credit hour. And just so you know, when you get your acceptance email, it actually says you're in district or out of district, out of state, or whatever. So you should get a kind of a warning about this, but I want to let you know this is considered in district. Anything outside of the green but inside the state is considered out of district. So that's at $386 a credit hour. And then anything outside the state is at $531 a credit hour. But I definitely want to bring this up because there's also a special rate here called Tier 2 rate. And it's a lot of the health professions, but there's a couple of applied technology programs in the Ford Asset program, and the Case New Holland are charged at $247.50 a credit hour. So that's super important to know, just so you kind of know what you're getting into price-wise. But oftentimes what you'll find is that maybe your home community college doesn't offer the program you want to. For instance, if you're coming from Bloomington, they may not have an automotive program. And so if you want to get into the program, it's important that you follow what's called the career agreement down here. And I talk a little bit about it. Basically, you go to your local community college and say, hey, I've been accepted to Parkland in this program. You guys don't have it. Will allow me to get the in-district rate at the school? So just want to make you aware of doing that step. That's an important part of what we do. So the next step is support services. So once you're actually here and taking classes, we do have a ton of supports. We have the Center for Academic Success, which is D120. That's where you can kind of go in. We tell folks it's kind of a one-stop shop. You can get help in math there. There's English professors there. There's peer tutors, all sorts of things. So please take advantage of that space. It works really well. Parkland itself doesn't have any housing. So I encourage folks, if you're looking at housing in the area, I've actually given you the link to a housing information sheet on our student life page. Tons of places to live here at Parkland. A lot of what's considered student-oriented apartments where maybe 2, 3, 4 people sharing a common kitchen, living room, dining room kind of setup, and then everybody has their own bedrooms that they pay for. So it's important to look around, make sure you don't sign any leases until you've actually checked the places out. Transportation, our bus system here at MTD is awesome. It runs, oh gosh, there must be 3 or 4 or 5 buses every hour that are going to different places in Champaign. And you can use that for $84 a year, anywhere you want to go, or $1 a trip. Parking is free here at Parkland, so that's something to keep in mind too. We're just trying to think about all the other things you might have not thought about when you're heading to college. Last but not least, I just wanted to share some important dates with you. We've got spring registration opening November 2nd, so that's next week. Spring classes will start January 11th, and then fall, for folks, most of you are looking at probably at fall classes, we will start enrolling folks April 5th. So I bring this up because people always ask me kind of what a timeline is. And definitely I recommend if you're coming for fall, make sure you have your application done in January so you can get us transcripts and so we can start going through the assessment process and things like that. So I am going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And I am going to turn it over to Amy Densmore, who is the program manager extraordinaire for Applied Technologies. We are here to answer any questions. I want to encourage you again, if you've got questions out there, just go into that Q&A and let us know what we can help with. And let me go ahead and I will disappear for a moment and let Amy take care of everything. Okay.
Thank you so much, Mary Kay. I appreciate all that great information and the introduction. So as Mary Kay said, I'm Amy. I work with Parkland's Applied Technology program. So those are the hands-on skilled trades type programs. If you've had someone in your life tell you that you'd be a good fit for skilled trades, these are going to be the programs that interest you. So they are 60 to 70% hands-on. They're more of a technician path is what the end result is for most students who graduate from our programs. Before I show you a video that goes over all the great things we offer, I do want to talk to you just a bit about the difference between a technician and an engineer, because I meet a lot of students who say they want to be an engineer, and that's a fantastic career field, but it may not mean what you think it means. Engineers take a considerable level of advanced math, physics, chemistry, so not just one level of calculus, multiple levels of calculus, and require a minimum of a bachelor's degree. So they are going to develop plans, perform calculations, create schematics for buildings or product design, whatever they may be creating. And then the technician will use those schematics to diagnose and repair that product or redesign, depending on what needs to happen in the field. The technician is in the field. The engineer is typically in an office at a computer. So 2 very different career paths. There are some exceptions. Students who go through an automotive technology program, for example, you can become a field service engineer in that field once you gain enough experience. But that term engineer is not so much the desk job. You're going to be out in the dealerships helping them figure out the problems that they have. So again, more of an applied technology, hands-on kind of career. So something to keep in mind as we look at these great programs. And I also want to tell you that a lot of times when I get a student in who says, I want to do something with my hands, skilled trade, maybe, I don't know, what do you have? Those folks tend to lean towards construction management or industrial technology. And I'm going to talk more about industrial technology and where that program's headed after this video. So please feel free to type in any questions you have as you watch, and we'll answer those as we go. So give me just a minute to get this shared. All right, let's try that again. There we go. Thanks for your patience. Here we go. Maybe.
Adam Parks, and I'm the director for the Automotive Technology program here at Parkland College. We train technicians to work on vehicles in really all aspects of vehicles. Our technicians that work in dealerships, independent shops, they work on wheels and tires, engines, all those common things, and train all those different aspects here at Parkland. Here at Parkland, we've got two different programs, our primary programs in our automotive curriculum. One of those is the standard technician track, the other one is motorsport. In the motorsport track, we focus on race cars, just how those cars differ from your everyday car, along with the support and team structures that go along with that. One of the exciting things about our motorsport program are the cars that Parkland owns. So these are cars that students get to work on, and in most cases get to drive and race as well. We've got two different cars, a Chevy Malibu and a Ford Mustang, that are set up for drag racing. And then we've got a couple of autocross cars that we compete with. We've got a Mazda Miata and a Honda Civic. The demand for automotive techs is really high. Locally here, we get calls all the time from independent shops as well as the large dealerships looking for help, looking for people. We've got several choices in our automotive program between certificates as well as an associate degree. Our associate degree program takes 2 years to complete. And our smaller certificates, we've got one that takes just about a year, and another that's about 18 months.
My name is Shane Feidel. I'm instructor, recruiter, and co-director for the Ford Asset program at Parkland College. Asset is an ASE accredited associate degree automotive training program supported by Ford Motor Company. In addition to your traditional automotive training, we also deliver all of the factory training that Ford provides along with the certifications that go along with it. Ford Motor Company supplies us with all of their training materials, modern vehicles, test equipment, tools, mainly supportive materials. The dealerships provide us with the opportunity and the location for which our students can learn on the job. The work experience is what really sets us apart from your traditional program. Our students are going to spend approximately half their time working and learning and earning money on site at their dealership, because the end goal of any training program is the career, right? So we prefer to have students begin their career at the same time that they begin taking the training. What people don't realize about a lot of other, perhaps more well-known automotive training programs is that they are not supported by manufacturers to the level we are. And almost across the board, they cannot provide degrees because they are not accredited. So right now we are a selective enrollment program in the sense that we have a limited amount of students and customers that we can serve. Generally that's around 20, but our goal is to grow that number. Another part that makes us selective enrollment is the fact that the work element of the asset program is required. So therefore, anyone that we're unable to find employment for, we cannot accept into the program. Please just reach out to us as soon as you're interested. We're helping student prospects all throughout the year. Obviously, the earlier that we know about you, the better. But the moment you express interest in joining the asset program, we're immediately going to begin working with you and your local dealer network to find you a dealer that will sponsor you and employ you. And throughout that process, we're going to make sure that they're a great place to work, a great place to learn, with, again, the end goal in mind that you're going to start your career at the same time you start your education at Parkland College. The KC Auto Technician program is a dealership-sponsored program, meaning all the students are employees of the dealer first. They get sponsored by either Case Construction, Case IH, Ag, or New Holland Ag or Construction. From all over the Midwest here, we've got kids as far as Ohio, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Iowa, Wisconsin. And they all come here to get trained to go back to the dealer to be level A technicians. The sponsorship includes basic tool set, uniforms while you're here at Parkland, your online training piece from the C&H side of it, and usually scholarship money based on performance of grades. Employment is 100% placement. The industry is very hungry for technicians. We're in a position where a lot of technicians are retiring, and we need quite a few of them to actually be able to fill those voids. Students here at Parkland learn to service all types of equipment that we use right here in the Midwest. We're talking tractors, planters, harvest program here at Parkland College is about 70% hands-on, 30% in the classroom learning. It's easier to implement the lessons here face-to-face with the students versus just virtually in the classroom or theoretically on a piece of paper. One quick thing I just wanted to show you today, and this is actually a lesson that we're doing right here in the lab today we're filming. This brand new New Holland Combine has a problem, electrical problem right out of the factory. Students are using the electronic service manual, plus they're using the monitor out of the combine to actually diagnose the problem at hand here. The operator has been prompted of the fault code, so they are actually going into the diagnostic tab and actually seeing on the screen electrically what that sensor is seeing. So if the customer would call into the dealer, they can actually walk in through some simple troubleshooting steps before they actually send the service man out. In the CNH program, a good skill set is not necessarily required, but it sure does help if you have those mechanical aptitudes. Otherwise, we can teach them here at school. You get many hands-on classes of simply basic tools, basic service manual reading, taking something apart, basically repairing it and putting it back together. We have a lot of component-based learning as well as whole machine learning. Time is of the essence if you do decide to do this, because we only take 20 students a year into these programs. We're on a first come, first served basis as far as application goes. If you need help with the sponsorship piece, please contact myself or Amy Dinsmore will help you with that sponsorship piece. Welcome to Parkland Dixon. My name is Steve Hancock. I'm one of 3 instructors here at the campus. This is a 2-year diesel program with an associate's degree. We do require all of our students to do 2 internships in their 2-year period here. One is an 8-week internship in the summer. The second 8 weeks of their sophomore year, they go back to their dealers to do another on-site internship. We are an extremely hands-on program here. All of our students, it's 100% job placement. We fill spots. We have dealers that require us to send them students every year. So obviously for us, job placement piece is a nice added bonus. Our goal is to take entry or student minimum knowledge, turn them into an entry-level technician. At that point, once they get to the dealer, then the dealer can decide how they want to specialize that student as a technician. Whatever. We do represent all 3 aspects here: semi-motor truck, heavy truck, construction, and ag. So all 3 of us instructors come from those fields. Our goal here at Parkland is to get your hands involved in as many things as we can. Obviously, the more exposure you have here, the better off and the more of a well-rounded student you are, a well-rounded technician. We start at the ground level. So we're not expecting any experience. We do limit our enrollment here to 20 students. We let our students work in teams of 2. That way, quantity does not overtake quality. So it's a lot easier for us to manage. If you are interested, we definitely need to enroll early. The sooner the better. Like I said, we look at our students at time of application.
So we've got several options in the ag program. We have a wide range of students in the program, but there's a 2-year option where you get an AAS degree. You can also get certificates, which could be very helpful, if nothing else, for professional development in a career you're already in. But those are 2 options. You can also transfer to a 4-year school.
My name is Brenna Ferguson. I'm a sophomore at Parkland, and I'm studying ag business management. Since I was little, I was really interested in the agriculture industry, so I knew that that's what I wanted to go into when I got to college. And just the ag business program just seemed like it would work really well for me because it's, a mix of ag business, but there's also hands-on classes like crops classes, our precision class. I mean, everything's really hands-on.
There's folks that are running fertilizer plants, retail operations, seed dealers, salesmen. We've got folks go back home and farm or help contribute, like take something from this program, go back and help the grandpa, their uncle, their father, go back to the family farm and help out, or their farm managers and help other people manage their operation. We've also got folks in the merchandising, like grain merchandising, through elevators, cooperative, folks that are doing marketing. It's pretty wide open. And we like to give those students a chance to get their feet wet in all of those aspects.
So I've learned like how you find yields for crops classes. Soils class is really interesting, learning about all the nutrients in the soil. and like our precision class, like we're out here today going to do some soil sampling. And so it's really nice to learn in class about everything, but then to come out and do it is like a whole other thing. And it's just, I think it helps us learn a lot being hands-on.
The nice thing here, the ag program is, we got 7 billion, mouths to feed across the world and they clothe, and it's only going up. So the future is really bright for ag. It's a really good, high potential career field to get into. The options are pretty endless. There's a wide variety. Ag touches almost every aspect of our lives.
So we actually have an ag club here at Parkland. I'm the president of it this year, and we actually just had a meeting yesterday. We did the bags tournament and just kind of brought all the sophomores and the freshmen together and just had a nice little get together. And then we also do internships over the summer when you're in the ag business and the precision courses, and that just kind of helps you lead into maybe your future of your job that you're going to do. It really just gives you connections with other people and also allows you to take what you learned in the classroom and actually put it into what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life.
We hope they leave more than they came with. We hope they come in and get some skills relevant to whatever career path they choose. Even if they don't know yet what that is, we hope they can hit the ground running and apply what they've learned in class and be able to be an asset to whatever job they may enter straight out of school. So Parkland Ag, we've got a tremendous amount of things going on in our ag program. We've got precision ag, we've got ag business, we've got our new applicator program, which is an advanced degree applicator program. We also offer certificates. And I'm super excited about this because we have 100% industry support. We've got a machine we can use at all times from Automotive. Lee and Rick has donated that. We've got support from United Prairie, FS, Nutrien. Got a tremendous amount of support in the industry.
My name is Megan Durbin. I'm a first-year student, and I'm in the applicator program. South Central FS had brought up the applicator program and it being brand new. And my grandfather was actually an applicator for 40 plus years. So going that route was more of a family tradition than anything. Super interesting to me, and agriculture was everything. So I chose to go that route.
There's such a demand in the industry. This machine behind me has so much technology on it, and anymore, we can't just throw somebody in it and expect them to go out and perform. We've got to have the training.
So far, I've learned anywhere from the corn stages to working a yield monitor and learning all the parts of a combine and different parts of a planter.
They're paying for 100% tuition and 100% job placement. And it's a tremendous opportunity for young people as well as people that have been in a career for a while and want to make a change.
From Parkland, I have a 5-year contract with Christian County FS, so I will go straight into the working field and be an applicator for them.
My name is Michael Walbizer. I'm a first-year student here at Parkland College, and I'm majoring in precision ag.
My name is Ben Cave. I'm a first-year student here at Parkland, and I'm part of the precision ag program. Coming from a family farm, I've always been interested in the ag side of things and always interested in the new technologies and new things coming out in farming. And I felt like the precision ag program kind of merged farming and technology together, and that's what I want to do.
Right now we're doing soil sampling. We've done precision, just planter and combine parts and GPS. There's a lot of different things that we've covered. And one thing I really like is that it takes topics that can seem confusing at the surface and really breaks it down to something you can understand.
We've been learning about monitors and different technologies on your implements and your equipment that can make your yield, increase your yield, and give you a better outcome.
I've learned a lot in a short amount of time. It's not just like you're memorizing terms and memorizing stuff. With the hands-on and just the way the class is laid out, I feel like it really sticks with you. And if you want a career in agriculture, you're gonna learn stuff that you're gonna use a lot throughout your life.
Hi, I'm Teresa Mears. I'm the Horticulture Agriculture Program Director at Parkland College here. I'm standing in one of our facilities, which is our greenhouse facility. And we also have outdoor land gardening facilities. So we do a lot of growing. But my background is growing plants, any way, shape, and form. Trees, shrubs, herbs, annuals, perennials, poinsettias, palms, you name it, we grow it here in Parkland. In our horticulture program, it's a general, true horticulture program with a little bit of background in the growing of plant material, understanding all parts of the plant material, doing the landscape design, the design itself, as well as the installation of the plants and the hardscapes. We do focus on sustainability in our garden. We have an outdoor garden we grow in. We do pest management, so we cover all aspects of care of the plant. The weeds, the diseases, the insects, the pruning. We try to do as much hands-on physical touching of the plant material as we can. A lot of our plant material that we grow indoors or outdoors, depending on which it is, we do utilize for plant sales. We have plant sales twice a year that our students are involved in, so they can actually see from the start to the finish and actually send it out. We do poinsettias and Christmas type plants in the winter months. We do the herbs, the annuals, perennials in the spring months. It's a wide open field for graduates, depending on what specialty area you want to get into. You can grow annuals, perennials, hemp, you can do design work where you actually do the drawings, you can do installation of the hardscapes, maintenance, you can do sales. There's a huge sales market right now. You can travel, you can do breeding work. There's a lot of entry-level jobs you can get into with a certificate. There's even better jobs with an associate. If you're willing to go on for a bachelor's, you can move up the chain faster. But jobs for associates, there's plenty.
Corey Allred, Program Director for the Land Surveying Curriculum here at Parkland College. Land surveying is the measurement of land and making very, very accurate maps. Most people that get into this profession really enjoy being outside, and that's how I got into it as well. The other part of it is I like to do maps, and I like to do puzzles. So I put the two together because what we do is we make a lot of measurements, and then we try to put all the points together and create the puzzle and put the puzzle pieces together so we get one cohesive picture out of it. So at Parkland, we have those three paths. The first one is the one that we've had here the longest, is the associate's degree. And that'll get you the required classes to become a technician and eligible to sit for the first exam. The first one is called the FS, the Fundamental Surveying Exam. So what we have here at Parkland is a means to get to that FS portion. We have 24 hours of surveying courses, and that's the associate's program. Along with the associates, right underneath that is a certificate, which really is only the 24 hours of surveying courses. So that's for folks that have had college experience and want to come in and just get the 24 hours necessary to be able to sit for the exam. We're unique here at Parkland. We have the weekend land surveying, is what we call a weekend land surveying program. With that program, what you do is it's hybrid classes. So you do online work where you do most of the stuff at home at your own pace. There's no mandatory meetings that you have to go to. You don't have to be sitting at your computer or in class at any certain time. And then once a month for about 3 months, what we do is we come to campus on Saturday and Sunday. We do that hands-on portion because surveying is something you can't learn by watching videos and doing homework. This is something you have to do with your hands. It's an accelerated course, accelerated program, where we have approximately 10, 11 weeks per classes. And so at the end of, again, it's a 2-year cycle. At the end of 2 years, you've got your 24 hours that you need to sit for the fundamental surveying exam. Something we're really excited about now is the apprenticeship. We have corporate sponsors who take that person on as an employee. They pay for their school to go to school and do everything here at Parkland, the education portion. But then they also work full-time for that company to get the field experience that they need. So at the end of the day, after 2 years, it's a 2-year program. At the end of the day, what you end up with is 12 college credits, 9 of which are applicable to the FS, towards the surveying education. And you have 2 years experience, and you've gotten paid the entire time.
Probably one of the more unique things about the welding part of the industrial technology program is that welding is wrapped in so many different fields. If you're a collision repair student, you know how to weld. Of course, plumbers, pipe fitters, iron workers, mechanics, all your different shops. You don't have somebody on premises that can well, machine shop, there's not even ag. I mean, there's not much out there where you don't need to load around one point or another. And that's where we actually run into a lot of the job through, not per se just straight welder, but maybe machinists do some welding, their diesel mechanic do some welding, so on and so forth. So we have a wide variety of different processes we run to try to do the best we can to address whatever level you walk in or at. Now, of course, if you've got some experience with tools in general, with dad, high school, uncle, whatever the case may be, then of course you're going to have a leg up. But you don't have to have any experience at all. You just got to know the follow directions. Going through the industrial welding certificate, we start everybody out with a little bit of oxygen welding, brazing, cutting. Then we move everybody to stick welding. We run 2 different stick rods on plate in all positions. Later on, we have a pipe course, so stick welding for pipe. 2 gas tungsten arc welding classes, more commonly known as TIG. An old guy like me might have something called helium. And we have 2 8-week classes that are on gas metal arc welding, commonly known as MIG welding or wire welding. So you can finish our certificate. Everybody wants a job out. Everyone. I hesitate to really say 100%, but it's been pretty darn close. I mean, we've got people, we've got companies in areas make then industrial technology as well. Several of the machine shops in areas cannot get enough qualified people with experience. That's where the AAS comes into play. Because you have more than just welding, you have machine experience. Of course, our AAS has 2 work experience classes, experience right in the field.
My name is Todd Horton, and I am the program director of the construction management programs here at Parkland College. The construction manager is a construction leader. In fact, construction management is not just one job, it's actually a group of jobs. Construction management is often done by a team of people within a company. A small company, it may be one person, but in large companies working on projects, say $60 million each, your construction management team could be 4, 5, 6. So those could be estimators, inspectors, superintendents, project managers, project engineers, a variety of people form the construction management. In the construction management program at Parkland, you'll take a variety of courses that deal with construction materials, with computer-aided drafting, a little bit of surveying, cost estimating, contract administration. You'll have some math courses, communication courses. We have some really cool courses where we take you out on a whole bunch of construction job site visits. So you get to see what happens in the real world, the things that we don't have the time and ability to teach in the classroom. Our goal is to provide you with skills that your employer will want you to have the first week on the job in some kind of supervisory, technical, or managerial position on a construction. Our program provides a variety of options for our graduates so that you're not focused on one particular sector of the industry. That is, we prepare students to go into the building construction industry, which includes residential and commercial buildings. And they can also go into industrial construction, factories, and things like the oil and gas industry. And then we have people that go into the civil construction industry, such as roads, bridges, airports, railroads, utilities. Our program really is strong in giving you options and opening you up to a broad variety of things. Our goal is to help you become a generalist, more so than a specialist, and then that broadens your opportunities.
Okay, well, hopefully you learned a little bit about all the awesome things Parkland has to offer. There is one more I want to talk about. We have a fantastic opportunity right now to merge a couple of programs so that we can offer the most current skills, the most current technology to our students and then also meet the skills needed by the employer. We are looking to merge our electronic control systems, associate and applied science degree, as well as the industrial maintenance and automation degree under the industrial technology branch. So industrial maintenance or electrical maintenance, that's I believe the title we're going with, electrical maintenance technicians work in manufacturing environments and they repair equipment malfunctions. That's electrical, pumps, compressors, pneumatics, hydraulics, all those things that make this equipment run. And so if you think about a large operation, Kraft is a great example, and they have an order for so many cases of mayonnaise, and that has to be produced by a certain time. One of those machines on that line goes down. If you're the person who can get them back up and running, they're going to pay you pretty well. And you're going to be a high demand position. So great career fields, especially if you're thinking about something electrical, you'd like to be sort of that jack of all trades. Fantastic program. I do not at this time have a piece of paper that I can give you or a website I can show you with what that program will look like, but I do have the draft. So if you're considering starting in the spring or next fall, it's no problem. You'll go ahead and start on the path like you were going to go with either program. The classes are still being offered. That's not going to change. It's just which classes are included in the name of the program. So go ahead and apply to electronic control systems or apply to industrial tech, and I'll help you work it out. Don't worry about it. And there are going to be plenty of excellent jobs available, because if you go look at, say, Indeed.com and you search electrical maintenance, you're going to have a lot of hits that pay very well, but they typically want someone who is trained with a 2-year degree. Certificates sometimes will work, and we have certificate options as well. So that is one area that wasn't mentioned in the video because we weren't quite ready at the time of filming to talk about it. So what questions do we have? Does anything come in?
The folks have been kind of quiet out there, but in fact, it's kind of crazy because there's actually more watching on Facebook than there are actually in this meeting. So they can't actually share their questions quite as easily. But I know I had some questions as we were kind of going through the things that we kind of get asked a lot in admissions. Like, can you do this part-time?
Yeah, quite a few of the programs you can do part-time. You can take 1, 2, 3 classes at a time. In fact, when I advise you and help you choose your classes, we're going to talk about how much you're working and what your personal life is like to some degree. You know, if you have children at home and you're working full-time, then maybe a class or 2 is going to be plenty. We do have some programs that are only for full-time enrollment, and that's Case New Holland, Ford Asset, and Diesel Power. Those 3 are full-time only.
Awesome. If you don't mind, I'll ask a few more questions.
Please, absolutely.
Yeah. What about what's going on with the pandemic? How are classes changing because of that?
I think I answered that question about 10 times a day when I was registering students for the fall semester. Well, it matters. You know, the students I work with are hands-on learners and they don't want to learn online. We understand that. Our faculty are also hands-on learners. But I think our faculty have done a phenomenal job of adapting to these requirements. So anything that can be taught online is online. So your lectures can be. But labs are in person. They require physical distancing, quite a bit of sanitizing. Everyone has to wear a mask. You saw in some of the videos, folks wearing masks. We did have some videos shot before March, so they may not have all been wearing masks at that time when it wasn't required. But those safety requirements are in place, but we're still able to have labs. I think something really cool that's come out of this too is the synchronous lectures that are online. So you may have to be in class on, say, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11, but you're not on campus. You're logged in from wherever you are on your device, which means that you can ask questions in real time, that you still get the engagement with your classmates. So that's been a new teaching method that we've been using, and I've seen it to be highly effective.
I noticed that, and it was addressed in some of the videos, but like, do you have to know anything to be going into these classes?
We get that question a lot. No, we expect that you know nothing. We hope that you know some basic tools, and being able to use a tape measure and add and subtract those measurements is going to be necessary in almost all these programs. It is something we're accustomed to teaching. So if that's necessary, we're able to. But that does lead me to a piece of advice. Those of you still in high school, if you have the option to take 7th semester, 8th semester math, do it. It gives you placement at Parkland, and it keeps those math skills fresh. Because you do have to know math to be a diesel technician. You do need math to be a precision ag tech. You need what we call applied math, unless you're going to transfer, and then you need something like intro to statistics or even college algebra. It varies by program, so don't panic. Again, it's something we'll talk about when we go through your advising session. But go ahead and take that math your senior year. It's going to be a lot more fun to take it with your friends at your high school and possibly get you out of a class, maybe even 2 at Parkland.
How big are the classes?
It depends on program, and especially now during the pandemic, they're a little smaller so we can make sure to adhere to safety standards. But typically our classes are 12 to 18 students.
Okay, great. That's awesome. So you do get to know anybody. You get a lot of personal attention that way too.
Absolutely. And students are able to do group work in small groups with physical distancing right now, and still able to get that attention from the instructor.
What about, I've heard sometimes it's kind of expensive to get the tools for automotive. How does that work?
Absolutely. Tools can be expensive. I think it's an awesome perk of our automotive and motorsport programs and Port Asset as well, that you do not have to buy tools to get started. We provide all the tools in the lab. However, when you go to your internship, they do expect you to have tools. Technicians don't necessarily like to share their tools. So you'll need some basic tools, and we'll provide you with that list, and you have some time to get it. We also do what we call a tool day outside the pandemic, and that's usually the week of Labor Day. So we have the major tool dealers come in, and they have student assistance programs that our students are eligible for. Gives a hefty discount from those dealers, Snap-on, Matco, et cetera. So they come in, and that helps a lot, really discounts that price. And then for the diesel program, you do have to buy the tool set to start the program. That cost is on our website, parkland.edu/diesel. And then you can click on the program cost section, and it outlines what's required and how much those tools cost. The Case New Holland program, one of the great benefits of having the employer sponsor the Case dealership, Case New Holland dealership, or IH, or Case Construction, is that they pay for those tools as part of your sponsorship agreement. So you do have to work for them for a number of years after you finish the program, and you work for them while you're in school, but then you own those tools. And if you decide to leave before your contract's up, then that's spelled out in the initial agreement you signed that tells you how much you would have to pay for each year early that you leave the contract. But still a fantastic deal when you're talking about a $4,000 or $5,000 tool.
And speaking of the money side, are there scholarships for these programs then?
Parkland has a ton of scholarships, and I'm mystified every year at how many don't go claim because folks don't want to write the essay. We did start a new unified application, which I think is awesome. So if you go to parkland.edu/scholarships, you can fill out one application and it will automatically apply you for all scholarships that you're eligible. But Parkland is just a small piece of the financial pie out there of scholarships. And we do have some very generous donors, but nationwide, there are tens of thousands of scholarships. And I'm sure just like ours at Parkland, they go unclaimed. So if you go to Google and you type scholarship search or college scholarships, skilled trade scholarships, you're going to come up with thousands of entries, or at least 2 or 3 really good search engines. And you can come up with those, reuse those essays. I mean, they're going to ask what your goals are, how you're prepared, how you chose this career. Just change the name of the company or the sponsoring agency that you're applying for, and you can reuse 3 or 4 essays over and over. You could pay for college with scholarships alone if you're willing to do the work and send in those applications.
That's awesome. What about if I want to go into a union? What kind of programs would I choose in that case?
Yeah, so I get that question a lot about skilled trades unions. So we're talking about IBEW, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, plumbers and pipe fitters, carpenters. There's a very big list of options that you have, especially in our community. We're pretty fortunate. Our programs don't align specifically with the apprenticeships because they will teach you what you need to know in the apprenticeship. So each union has their own application process, and it's to apply to become an apprentice, which is typically a 5-year commitment before you become a journeyman worker. So if you Google Champaign, Illinois trade unions, you'll get a list, and you can go out to their websites and see when their application periods are. They vary. And sometimes they'll accept applications for a couple months. Some may accept applications all year, and they're going to require some documents with that, like driver's license, birth certificate, proof of high school completion. Sometimes if you go through the process, you're going to apply, you're going to test. They have an aptitude test they'll administer. The top X% of those folks will be interviewed. It depends on how many candidates they're looking for and where that cut line is. And then you go through the interview process. They're going to pick a few. It's incredibly competitive. So something they will often do is say, come back next year, but in this next year, go to Parkland and take some classes. And that's when you're going to see me. And we'll talk about, depending on what union you want to go into, what classes are going to help you. And part of that is not just gaining the knowledge, because they're going to teach you more in depth that knowledge on the job if you do join the union. It's to show that you're committed. So you're going to come to Parkland, you're going to spend time with us, hopefully earn a good grade, because you're going to do the work. And then when you go back and apply, you've shown that union how committed you are. And that's going to definitely give you a leg up on that next application period.
That's awesome. We had a question kind of from the Facebook folks about getting, like, I know that there's sometimes they want you to do work experience in the programs. How do they help you get those jobs?
Yeah. So some programs, you're automatically with an employer before you can start the Case New Holland program or Ford Asset. You're already employed. So those are quite easy if you've already gotten that lined up, which you have before you're allowed to start the program each August. For the others, part of getting the job is part of the student experience, because we're preparing you for the real world. So some of our programs have a class on writing your resume and mock interviewing and how to read job postings, how to submit an application, that kind of thing. And so that's part of the process. We can share job postings. We receive those from employers daily, and we do share those with our students. But for the most part, it is on the student to find those jobs. We can share information. If you're a solid student, some faculty might be willing to be referenced for you if you ask. Yeah, we're going to try and connect you, but part of it is we'll support you through the process, but we want you to go through it while we're here to help.
That's awesome. Well, those are all my questions. I don't know. Is there anything that we didn't cover?
I don't think so, but you know what? If that is the case, then I will share my contact info here in just a second. Oops. I'm not seeing what I want. There we go. So here you go. Again, I'm Amy Densmore. I'm the program manager for Applied Technology. Includes everything you saw today: ag, horticulture, automotive, electronics, welding. So if you want to know more, you want help getting started, I am here to help with just that. I prefer texting, but you are welcome to call. It's just a little harder to get in touch with me since we live in this Zoom world and I'm usually in a meeting like this. So if you want to reach out to me at the phone number shown here or send me an email, I will be happy to help you with whatever questions you have, get started in the program. Tours are a little iffy right now. We're not bringing others onto campus who aren't students, but I'm happy to talk to you. We do have some virtual tours available I can share. So yeah, I would love to hear from you and know how to help you.
That's awesome, Amy. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for your help, Mary Kay.
Bye-bye now.
Take care.